Hi guys, hello first class. Welcome aboard this canal tour towards Venedig for the next 18 hours. New capital. Welcome aboard. Hello guys, how are you? Very good, very good. You look smiley. That's a good start. Very good start. Let's introduce ourselves again. In this very beautiful corner we have a very handsome man. And you know why? Because it's Aras, our captain. All captains are hot. Say hello to our hot captain, Aras. Aras says hello backwards, I guess. And almost as hot as our captain is your tour guide, Jens Tony. Hello. Hello. Good, guys. Guys, we are going to sail through a lot of bridges. These bridges are not made out of gummy bears, jello. They're made out of concrete, steel, or stone. So if you would like to see the day tomorrow, please, I beg you, please be seated when we're coming to a bridge. Are you guys ready? That's the spirit. We're coming to a very low bridge, sir. Please be seated. Please be seated, sir. Thank you. Please be seated, ma'am. Thank you. It's very low. Alright guys, we did it. So proud of you. Your father. So this canal that we are sailing on is 350 years old and was dug out by Danish soldiers. And back then they didn't have machines, modern machines like we do today, modern equipment, so they had to use shovels, guys, in order to dig their way from the ocean all the way to the King Square. Back then when work was work. That's just a man standing by the microphone. And in the old days this place used to crawl with sailors. Literally crawl with sailors because they were all drunk. There were a lot of boozing and gambling going on here. There was also a lot of brothels here with times. But as you can see, that's no longer the case. Instead, it's a place where tourists and family comes to enjoy an ice cream or sparkling water with no lemon. We're coming here on your left side, your first tourist attraction, so hold on to your chair. It's the Royal Playhouse. Well, behind the ball. There we go. Royal Playhouse. It opened up in 2008 to one of Shakespeare's very famous plays called Hamlet, that takes place at Copenhagen Castle, up in Helsingør. And it is also rumored when the actors are changing their costumes, it actually takes place up in the windows, so I'd like to advise you not to look. And you're looking, I saw that. You were looking the most, by the way. Blue scarf, take a note. On the other side, guys, we have, that's your right side, the paper island. And the reason why it's called the paper island is because in the very old days, the newspaper companies used to store their papers here. And for those people who are quite new in the business and doesn't know what paper is, long story, don't have time. It's white. And today it's a place where they built very expensive and luxurious apartments. Some of these apartments, ladies and gentlemen, cost up to 40 million kroners. That's roughly $5.5 million for an apartment. So if you have $5.5 million, please call me. I love you. Is that too early? Perfect. On the right side again, we have the Opera House. It opened up in 2005 and was given as a gift to the government by company Maersk. And Maersk is a large shipping container company. And every summer, that's June and July, they have a diving competition where you see professional divers jumping from the rooftop down in the water, 27 meters, guys. And they're looking for volunteers for next year's diving competition. Scanning first class. What about you, ma'am? He said yes. Such character, such strength. Typical first class. Inside the upper house there are 14 stories, where 5 of them are below ground, and the biggest auditorium can house up to 1,700 people. If you can take a closer look, maybe you can see them, maybe you can't. We have 3 beautiful chandeliers that's made by the Danish Icelandic artist CopenHill. Coming up on this beautiful day, we have also the beautiful Amager. That's the one on your right side, a big building with a chimney on top fuming away. That is one of the most modern incinerators in the world. It burns up to 600,000 tons of garbage every year, which turns into electricity and heating for a lot of houses and apartments here in Copenhagen. And if you're not impressed by that, but you don't look it, there's also a ski slope on top of the roof. You can actually go skiing. Because why not? And if you're not impressed by that, guys, there's also a climbing wall upstairs. If you're not impressed by that, there's also a bar. There we go. We also have this black submarine on your right side. It was last active during the Iraq War in 2003, which mission was to control the Iranian area. We also have this battleship on your right side, in the corner there, F352. I want to pick another color, maybe pink. Then again, I'm not the designer. This is, well, it was part of the naval defense during the Cold War. But what this battleship is most known for by Danish people, well, it accidentally misfired a missile one day by accident. Don't judge. I'm judging. In 1982, it misfired a missile, ending up destroying a bunch of summer houses up in the summer house area up in North Zealand. Luckily, no one got injured. It was in September. If you do get water on your faces, guys, remember, you're on a boat, you pay for it, you get a sprinkle. It's just a whole water gun over here that's doing the whole thing. We also have Battery 62 over here with a beautiful Danish flag. 2 times a day they fire with a cannon, kaboom, that's for kids. At sunrise and the sunset they fire, and that is to give signals to the surrounding ships to hoist the Danish flag or lower the Danish flag. One thing is tradition and another thing is reality. Due to neighbor complaints about hearing a cannon going off every morning when you're about to wake up, it can be a bit stressful considering morning traffic. They decided to shoot the cannon at 8 AM. We also have urban riggers. It's a bunch of containers on your right side that turned into student houses for young people. So there's a bunch of young people living in here, so you can throw some gang signs. How are you doing? I can't remember anymore. We also have Refhals Island with a big grey building in the background. That is the old B&B shipyard that was very modern in the 1960s. Also one of the biggest workplaces at that time. Of course, we have Refn over here along the shoreline. And every summer they have hundreds and hundreds of people gather here to enjoy the beautiful food and the nice beverages. And also bask in the sun, which only happens 2 times a year. Correct that 3 times a year. Yeah, once a day. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the crown jewel on this whole tour. I know it's not me. You're thinking that. I know it's not the captain either. Although Aras is the little crown jewel. Isn't that right, Aras? That's right. It's the Little Mermaid! Try it again. It's the Little Mermaid! Hey, there we go. She has been sitting on her rock since 1913, and she was given as a gift by the Carlsberg Brewery. It was Carl Jacobsen, the founder, who fell in love with a ballerina during the ballet performance that he asked Will Exton to make a sculpture. Sadly, over the years, our Little Mermaid has been vandalized. 2 times she lost her head. Another time she lost her arm. She's been covered in paint. But every time she's been restored and put back in place. All these people you see around her, this is Homeland Security. Yeah. The one in the blue jacket, that's the ringleader. And now we're just waiting for our tourists to fall into the water and you can make a wish. Vacation. If you're interested in getting pictures from the front side of the Little Mermaid, I have pictures. In my pocket. Shop is open. There we go, $100. So joining us here on your right side again, we have an old man sitting in the sun. And next to the old man, across the small pond here, we have these beautiful royal pavilions. This is where the Queen and the royal family sits before they go aboard their royal yacht. That royal yacht is normally located on this side. It is really beautiful, but apparently sees out 7 seas. The one with the golden crown, this is where the royal family sits. The one with the golden onion, yes, they call it the golden onion, this is where the guest sits. We're also coming to this beautiful white building with the blue windows. This is April Maersk headquarters, one of the biggest container line companies in the world, active in 121 areas, with the very iconic Maersk flag on top. The 7-pointed star that symbolizes the 7 seas. Although the colleagues inside will say it's the 7 days they work in. You will also have a bunch of Danish people doing their morning Sunday walk. These are not paid actors, these are real, authentic, living human beings, yeah? Although that guy is, by the way. That guy over there. Here we have the 3 warehouses. These are from the 1700s. And this was back then when Denmark, well, they owned a lot of colonies from around the world. And when they would import these goods, they would end up here. The first one, that's the red building. This is where you can get goods from the West Indian, such as sugar, rum, cotton M&Ms with those nuts inside. In the middle we have the yellow one. This is where you can get your goods from Greenland, which is also to this day still part of Denmark. A little ice cube. And then we have the last building, so you can get gold from the Gold Coast. Africa. Coming up we also have Amager. Now before Amager was erected in the 1750s, in the 1600s there was actually another castle right here called Sofia Amager, which had an extension to it. That extension was an opera house. Unfortunately, this opera house one day burned down to the ground with people inside of it and took the castle with it. So they started to build these 4 mansions in the 1750s, and in the beginning it was housed by 4 noble families until Christiansborg Palace burned down in 1794. You can hear we have a lot of fires here. We just can't control ourselves. So the royal family felt they were homeless-ish. So they moved in here and kicked out the 4 families, and they've been sitting here ever since here. The mansion to your left with the 5 chimneys, this is where our Queen, Margaret, hold residence sometimes. And on the other side we have the other mansion to your right side with the 4 chimneys. This is where our future Queen, ladies, Crown Prince Frederick, is holding residence when he's at home, but he's also married, so forget about it. And as you can see on top, there is a flag on top which indicates that he should be holding residence right now, so you should wave. It's a required law, by the way, to wave. Just have a little difficulties. In the middle you see the marble church right in front of you. It took 145 years to complete because quality takes time. It's not like IKEA. On the other side we have, keep up guys, we have the opera house, and a little funny story is attached to this opera house. When they decided to build the opera house, it was actually Mads McKinney, the rich business tycoon who owned the big shipping company. He decided to give this opera house away to the government and to the Danish people. He hired an architect called Henning Larsen, and Henning Larsen was really thrilled about building this opera house, but he quickly found out that these 2 gentlemen could not collaborate together. In fact, they hated each other. The main quarrel was that in the front of the building, Mads, the tycoon, told him, when you're building my opera house, I don't want any windows in front of my opera house. And then the fight went on and on for years and years while they were building. And in the end, they settled with this compromise, and you can see it looks like a toaster. It's metal bar, window, metal bar, metal bar. The moral of the story, never settled. In fact, he even wrote a book about Mads McKinney, and the title of the book is You Have to Say Thank You. And it actually tells about all the screaming matches they had through the years. In fact, they never talked to each other ever again when their building was finished. We also have this construction site. You can just the VIP people can see it. The construction site is going to be an indoor cafe with a botanic/theme park with an underground parking lot, and it's going to be amazing for this stuff, guys. I promise you that. Once again, we are now heading to Christianshavn's Canal, and it is built by Christian IV. Christian IV was a very active king, and thanks to him, we have a lot of beautiful buildings in the 1600s and 1700s. Also Christianshavn's Canal, the Round Tower, the Stock Exchange that you saw where we left Gammelstrand, and many other buildings. So thanks very much, Christian IV. And the reason why he built all these beautiful buildings was in part because he has, I think he had ADHD, he couldn't stop building, and also in part he wanted to modernize Copenhagen. We are now slowly heading towards Christianshavn's Canal. This is a quiet zone, so I will put this microphone down. But if you have any questions, guys, any questions regarding historical facts, don't hesitate to Google it, yeah? If you have any questions, for $1. We're coming to a bridge. Please take care. Sir, please. Thank you. So guys, we're coming to another bridge. Please take care of your heads. After this bridge, on our left side is something called Our Savior's Church. So have your cameras and phones ready already now. Or if you want to do an etch a sketch, have that ready. But we're coming to a bridge, so please find your seats. Thank you. Here we have my family. It's very complicated. Don't judge. trust issues. Washington Church. Gotta be quick, guys. And too late. And next obstacle in life, a bridge. Thank you. This is also, besides it's very low, it's also a haunted bridge, by the way.